Hey, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. My name is Melvin Isaac, and you are at the Artistic Talent Show. And we're going to have a very exciting show today. I'm your host with my guest, who is Wilma Ward, and she's an excellent artist, and she's at the Fulton Art Fair. But before we start, Wilma is very spiritual, so she's going to pray us in.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Well,
Right.
I want to give thanks and honor to my God, Jesus Christ, for taking me on this journey. And I want to give him all the honor and glory for what he has done for me and what he'll do for you also. Just trust and believe. That's all I must say. You must trust and believe, because he will take you on a journey that is out of this world. As he did it for me, he will do it for you. In Jesus Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Okay, so before we get ready to start this interview, Wilma actually met me. It was, she seen me on my TV show,
Yes.
and I was telling everybody out there that it's really up to you. If you want to continue on your hidden journey, your hidden art, your hidden talent, but it's up to you to take this offer in terms of promoting yourself. So tell us about that.
As I met you on TV first, on an intro, and it amazed me, as you said, it's on you, and I focused on that. That's what grabbed me.
Yes.
And for me, as I perceive that, you're an artist, and you're doing interviews, and you're extending your hand to us as artists out there to have another platform that we never experienced before. And you said, it's on you if you want your art out there. So you gave us an invitation, which was warm and welcoming, but you was letting us know that, hey, it's on you if you want to go any further, to let people know who you are and what you represent in community, family, and the art world. So I thank you for that. So thank you for the invitation, Mr. Melvin Isaacs, because it is on me.
And you are here right now.
Yeah.
So you are very welcome. Okay, so let's start with the questions.
Okay.
So the first question I'm going to ask you is, what 3 words friends and family use to describe you, Wilma?
Oh, well, one comes right off. Talkative. But I'm nervous now, but still talkative. Another word, humorous. I'm always laughing and fun to be around. Social. Very sociable. And the third is kind. Always be kind to anyone. It doesn't harm you to just be kind to people and give a warm welcoming. Always. No matter what you're going through your day. Just be kind and keep on moving. You might not like what people do or anything. That's not about you. Your mission is to be kind and just keep it moving. And I found that in my life to be a big asset, because people will always welcome you back.
Yes,
Kindness
indeed.
goes a long way.
Yes, indeed. You're definitely right about that. Now, how would you describe yourself?
Outgoing.
Okay.
Outgoing, really, and like to enjoy myself. Adventurous, outgoing and adventurous. Yes, and I'm a people's person
People's person.
and giving
Very
giving of
person.
myself.
Okay. Great. Well, y'all heard her. She's, outgoing, So, what inspired you to wake up every morning?
Oh, my Jesus Christ, to live life each day. I don't know what tomorrow holds for me. So I live each day in the moment, and yesterday's dead and gone. But today I can go forward into the future. And I don't know what that holds for me neither, but I'm thankful to God to wake me up this morning to see another day.
good. Who would you say to inspire you? Who inspired you?
Oh, a lot of things inspire me. People in general, colors, scenery, just looking at every day. You know, the trees, the sky, listening to music, that inspires me a lot. Music, relaxing music, smooth jazz. You know, I like all types of music, but what inspires me is jazz, because then it brings out the creativity in me that I can just excel and do my artwork. And it relaxes me also.
Yeah, okay. Well, what challenge have you struggled with to become an artist? What is your challenge?
The self-confidence that you need to believe that you're an artist, that's you on paper. Because when you step back, you look at it and say, I did that? Is that me? People are always complimenting me on my artwork, and then when I look at it when I'm home and the finished product, is that me? Did I do that? So I struggle with that, like, oh, that's excellent, that's awesome, and I'm like, oh no. Well, if they like it, well, hey, I must be doing something right.
Yeah.
You know, they gave me a couple of awards, and I was like, okay, wow. Here I am.
There you are. So how long have you been an artist?
I could say 9 years, but really took it seriously after 2012 because it was child's play at first. I didn't know what I was doing. I had a bunch of magazines laying around, and a crisis happened, and I said, let me cut these magazines out the way I think the pictures should look. So the pictures didn't look right, so I said, let me fix them. So I fixed them the way I thought they should look.
Right.
So that's where the collage came in. A collagist came in, just putting pieces of the puzzle in the magazine together, how I was feeling, what emotions I had at that time in my life.
All right. Let me see here. Are you self-taught, or did you go to school to learn art?
Self-taught.
Okay.
And then went to school for it. And I really have to say thank you to Professor Izzo Glover of Medgar Evers College that thrust me in this limelight. He had seen my artwork through my husband, that's a colleague of his in the college, and he said, you do that? He's an art professor. And I said, yeah. And he just told me, come to class. So I studied under him for a couple of years, and he taught me and introduced me to so many artists that helped me along the way.
Glover, Mr. Glover.
Yep, Professor Izzo Glover, and I mean, it's been a beautiful journey. And even meeting you.
Yeah.
Because on my journey, you came into my life. And I prayed for you, Mr. Melvin Isaac.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So how many mediums do you work in?
Two.
What are they?
Well, I paint. Now I paint in my collage. At first I was just doing paper, and I love paper. I do. Give me paper and I'll cut it up for you. Don't give me your paper, I'll cut it up for you and design it. But I like painting in it to bring out a better background, and it gives it more depth. And maybe later on I'll graduate to other mediums. But for now, just paper and paint. Painting in the collage now.
All right. Do you belong to any art organization?
Fulton Art Fair, which I hold dearly to my heart, which gives me this platform also, and Dorsey's Art Gallery. Yes.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about similar to the other galleries in a minute. Have you had any commissions?
No, not as of yet, but soon to come.
Okay. What about private schools or collections? Your work have any exhibit in any of those?
Yes, quite a few exhibits.
Okay.
Medgar Evers College for one, Dorsey's Gallery, Harlem's State Building,
Okay.
Bailey's Cafe, and now a new venture at Restoration and
Yes.
St. Joseph's College. So I do have a quite a few, and when I think about them, I'm like, good.
Yeah, you're
Building
building
a-
a collection. You're doing very good.
Thank you.
Well, what about an individual show? Have you had one yet?
No, soon to come.
Okay.
Yeah, soon to
It's
come.
coming,
A little bit
it's
nervous, but
No.
just hold on and just do the artwork, which is most important to have a show.
Yes.
So you can have some work to put in a show when you're asked to do one, framed and matted and have it professional looking, and the show will come along in due time, a solo,
Yes,
and I
it
will be
will.
looking forward
Yes,
to
it
that.
will. Yes, it will. It's coming. So now, tell us about Dorsey. How important Dorsey Art Gallery is to you?
Oh, my goodness. Dorsey's is another place where it started out for me also.
Okay.
Dorsey's Art Gallery. By going there with Professor Isabel Glover, that introduced me to Order O'Neill's and Carl McIntosh, which I call him my Maxie.
Yes. Yes.
And all the other artists that I met through there, James Denmark, Emmett Wigglesworth, Donovan Nelson, Richard Barclay, renowned artists. And all these men have had a great impact in my life, which, helped me along the way. It's not all about me. It's about who influences me and tells me which direction to go, because they've been in this art world for 40, 50, 60, 70 years. They've been doing art. And for these men to just embrace me, James Dimmock, you got it. And I was like, ooh, I never knew this man. And they I met him privately, not have to make an appointment. Order O'Neill's, Carl McIntosh, and these older gentlemen have took me in and bring out the best in me, especially Carl McIntosh, that is thrusting me in a new level. It's taking me on a new venture. So Dorsey's is a big part of me, big part of me. I could always go there and get good vibes, good information, what not to do, what to do. And one thing they taught me, all these men, humble yourself, humility. Because when you step into your element and you reached a certain plateau, never forget where you come from. And they taught me from the beginning, humility. Don't get a big head. Put it that way. Don't get a big head. Stay neutral and things will come to you. People will be looking for you. You don't have to go running to them. Just have the art available, and this is what you do. So humility is just one word, and it goes a long way.
Yes, indeed. Well said. Well said. What do you consider to be the most important to you in your life of art? What's
Creating.
important?
Creating it. Having ideas. 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when everybody sleep, 4 o'clock, that's when the idea comes. And I'll pop up in the middle of the night and start running to the kitchen, and looking for pieces of paper just to cut. And there till 7 o'clock in the morning and get an hour's sleep, and just be so excited to do it. And then I step back and look and say, look at you. Early in the morning, those are the times that the inspiration and the motivation come. In the middle of the day, no, I'm not even thinking about it. But in the middle of the night, the ideas are just rounding out in my head. A puzzle. That's what I call it, a puzzle. A piece of a puzzle that you're fitting together as a collagist. For me, as a collagist. Because a lot of people do collage. But to me, it's a piece of a puzzle, Mr. Isaac, that I put together in my mind. Every day is a puzzle. You fit in a piece, and then you take out the piece if it doesn't fit right. You go on a life's journey and it's a puzzle. Some pieces don't fit together the way they should, so you take it out and then you add something else. So that's where my creativity comes from, a puzzle, and I keep it as a puzzle. Simple and sweet, puzzle of life.
Okay, so we rounded down to the last question. Who are you and what is your purpose in life?
To help someone beside myself.
Okay.
To help people. Being kind, as I said before, is a milestone for me because I know for a fact that I'm kind. And to extend your warmth and welcome people as they are. You know, no color, no gentrification, just open arms and let it be from there. So it's to give back. Not to who just gives me, but to anyone. Just accept and be real. You don't have to be, you know, all uptight and think that you're something. No, just be you. When you meet me, be you. Because that doesn't impress me. What impresses me is you being yourself.
Yeah. Again, well spoken, and I want to thank you very much for allowing me to interview you. But it's not over yet.
Okay.
Because we get ready to do a second part, which we're going to be sharing. She's going to be sharing a story about her art and telling us about her art. And so do not go anywhere. Stay tuned. Do not change that dial. And you're going to hear more from Wilma, the artist, talking about her art.
Okay.
Okay.
This is a very nice studio, and I'm watching the
Okay.
gadgets because as I'm here too, I'm learning too.
Okay.
It's a very
That's
much
very
learning experience.
good.
It's beautiful that to just learn things as you're sitting somewhere. I've never had, you know, a green screen, and I'm like, all right, and it's beautiful here.
Yeah,
It's very,
very
nice
good,
studio,
very
so I'm enjoying myself learning and listening.
Right, right. So you know, we showing in the background where she was in the Fulton Art Fair, and I believe the first part was what you was with your one part of your family member, a young child. I don't know who that was, so I guess you can tell who it is.
Oh, this is my great nephew. And his name is Benjamin Cruz, that was visiting here from Florida, and I haven't seen him in 4 years, which it was a blessing to me because I've been wanting to see him, and he's an artist also. And what the beautiful thing about it is that he came out on the fence to visit me and to check out his auntie's artworks, which was a plus for me. And he encouraged me, and I encouraged him. He wants to be a basketball player, but I told him, look, still be creative. Don't never let go of your creativity. You know, you like to draw, keep on and continuing drawing, but, you know, go to school and be a basketball player. Do what you feel do, but don't do what I do just because I asked you to do it. But he's very creative, and I really enjoyed this day because this is a milestone in my life for me, for him being there.
Okay. Now we're going to get into your art in a second. We're just showing pictures of you at the Fulton Art Fair. Now tell us about this.
Oh, this was a beautiful moment for me. It was by surprise, but I enjoyed it. We were all standing around the bench, which was dedicated to the Fulton Art Fair. The founders of the Fulton Art Fair, Shirley Hawkins, Jacob Lawrence, Ernest Chinlow, if I'm saying it right, if I'm not, but Jacob Lawrence, and they dedicated a bench in the park, Fulton Park, to him. Were the founders of this awesome organization that has been around for 60 years, and it's a continuing art fair every year, June, 3 weeks. And they asked me to pray, and I just prayed. And it caught me by surprise, but I had to give honor to God, and they asked me to do it, and I thought that was so awesome. You know, because that's where all your blessings come from, when you realize it or not. There's a God above. And I prayed, and that's what I did, and that's what I was supposed to do, and it was done. And amen to that.
Amen. So let's go to the next ones. You should be coming to your art now. All right. Tell us about this.
Oh, my goodness. This one I really enjoyed doing. It's called Checkmate. And I thought about a man and a woman. And he looks so fly, and she looks so good together. And I said, he's with her, and that is his checkmate. And then it reminded me of Sly and the Family Stone, the way he used to dress back in the day. And he's an old school artist. And I looked at her, and she's just a diva. And I called it Checkmate. And I enjoyed doing this one because the background is painted, which is abstract. And this is the first one I really went out and really painted and was really impressed with myself with just the paper and the paint. And I said, wow, to myself, which are my initials, W-O-W, and that's how I sign my art, W-O-W. And I said, wow. And this is the first time I said, wow. So I was like excited for myself. And that's what this one is, checkmate.
Okay, so let's see the next one.
Oh, this one here is out of their shells. For people that are hiding in a shell and in a bubble, but I call this one out of their shells. And her head is popping out of a cocoon of a shell. And she's hiding, she has luggage there, but the main focus of this one is out of their shells. You know, you're hiding behind a shell. And when you're hiding in a shell, no one could see you. You know, you have to come out and get some air and be who you are. And I said this because I'm out of my shell and out of my element. You have to take chances. You have to take risks in life. You know, sometimes you don't know where you're going, but just turn around and ask yourself, be true to yourself and come out of that shell, that cocoon that you're hiding behind. Just be, all in my motto now is be yourself and come out of the shell. And that was my inspiration for this one, out of their shells.
Okay. Now, we don't have too much time left, but let's see if we can get a lot more without.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This one I dedicated to the gentleman, which is called Fire Escapes. A man always needs an escape. No matter where he's at or what he's doing, men need time for themselves. And men go into, I call a fire escape, where he needs to escape from himself and everything that's going on in his life and just relax, which he has his radio with him and he's just there relaxing, and a nice lady's behind him when you really emphasize on the picture. But it really is fire escapes because men need to escape. Not all men are bad, and I represent the men that they do need an escape from all the things and elements in life that they go through. You know, I'm behind your back, you know. We women give you a hard time, but we want you to be the best that you can be. And you need a fire escape retreat for yourself.
All right.
Sea of Eyes. This is what I dedicated to my doctor when I'm out of glasses now. And I thought about him because I wore glasses for over 25 years, which people don't know now, but I used to wear glasses. And I had corrective surgery for my eyes, and it's a beautiful thing. And I thought of all the goodness that God has did for me. And I call this Sea of Eyes because the eyes are the window of the soul. What you look at sometimes is not what you're perceiving, but the eyes are a window of the soul. So I call this one here Sea of Eyes. Oh, this one here is hanging in the library. We all need some knowledge, so let's hang out in the library and read some books and get something put in our head instead of just thinking about things. A book is knowledge, but it's what you interpret in the book. You know, you can read a book and still don't understand it, but hanging in the library means a lot to me because hanging in the library, you're putting something in your head that you will, in later on in life, need. Because you do need an education to get by these days. There's no ifs and buts about it. So get all the knowledge you can get. But remember when you get the knowledge to bring somebody else up with you with that knowledge. So hanging in the library means a lot to me because you get the knowledge, don't leave your community. Bring back your knowledge to the community that you may help the community. So hanging in the library, get the knowledge, but bring it back. Bring back the library with you. This is another one here which I dedicated to my doctor also. There's a lot of doctors, but still in all, hand me that fan. And as an artist, your hands are everything to you. So I had complications with my hand, but I thank God that I could still use them. It's just hand me that fan, and it was dedicated to him with the hands. And he's an orthopedics doctor, and he deals with hands and everything. So when I was going through a very hard time with them, but God still allowed me to create Hand Me That Fan, and that's what it is. Oh, this one here is House of. And as I look at different homes and houses where people live, we don't know how they're living. And you know, you're on a bed of thorns. She's lifted up, but yet she's on a bed of thorns, but she's not touching the bed of thorns. And there's a lot that's going on behind those closed doors in that house. You know, life is not a bed of roses as some people claim it to be. You can have thorny weather in your life, but you have to just rise above, which she is rising. She's rising to the occasion, even on a bed of thorns, and she's not quite on the thorn, but you can arise above it. So this one is House of. Whatever's going on in your life, make sure that you rise above those thorns.
All right, so we came to the end of the show.
Yes.
And this is it, viewers. Like I said, we are at the Brick Arts Medium, and we with an outstanding artist, and Wilma Ward, and then you heard everything she had to say, her message, but she's going to give her a shout out now and a message to the community. So, yeah, you give a shout out to whoever you want to give a shout out, and then you can give a message to the young people in the community. Okay.
Okay. I would like to give a shout out to Otto O'Neill's, James Denmark, Emmett Swigglesworth, David G. Wilson, Abdullah Abadi, Carl McIntosh, Donovan Nelson, Robert Carter, and Richard Barcliffe. And the most three is Dr. Ronald Chase, Dr. Philip Bradley's, and Dr. Chopra, Japid Chopra. And to the Fulton Art Fair and my new family at my new job, the courthouse.
Very good. So what about to inspire the young people that's there, that's listening to you, and they look at you as their leader, and you know, give them some encouraging words that they should look forward to becoming an artist or their talent.
For my young audience that's out there, young or old, never give up on your dream. Never give up on yourself first.